Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today for 5 ways to engage your customer with Kentico ECM. The 30 on Thursday webinar series is Protiviti's bi-weekly 30-minute webinar series where we talk all things enterprise content management. You can see a full schedule of our webinars at sharepoint.protiviti.com/webinars. We are hosting the SharePoint Project Management Symposium on June 15th in Reston, Virginia. It's 4 sessions and 1 roundtable. We have 4 PMP speakers and 1 MVP. PMPs do earn 7 PDUs at this event, and it's only $99. If you're interested in seeing all the session abstracts or learning more about the event, please visit our website at sharepoint.protiviti.com/PM Symposium. We are doing some live tweeting during today's webinar. If you're interested in tweeting some feedback or questions, please tweet at ProtivitiSP and use the hashtag 30TKentico. Today's session is being recorded. It will be on our archive on our website, sharepoint.protiviti.com/archived webinars. You can view all of our past sessions there, including this one, later today. For questions during today's presentation, please insert them in the question window in your GoToMeeting toolbar, or again, you can tweet at us at ProtivitiSP and using the hashtag 30TKentico. So again, today's topic is 5 ways to engage your customer with Kentico ECM. Our presenter is Peter Serzo, Solution Architect with Protiviti, and I am Julia Marple, and I will be moderating today's session. So let's get started. Pete, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. As Julia said, we're going to do look at 5 ways to engage your customer with Kentico ECM. We have 30 minutes, roughly, a little bit less. And what I'm going to do is just talk about your site, your portal, what people come to, your public site. And as you can see in these pictures, are they getting bored? Is it the content, or is it how you're engaging them? And that's really what we want to look at. And we're going to use Kentico's ECM. The Kentico product is a fantastic product. It has a great story to tell. And what you want to do is reach out and tell your story. You probably have many of these items already on your site. You can't go to a site today without looking at the social reach, having a LinkedIn on it, having a Facebook, a Twitter. The list goes on. And really what that social does is it amplifies your message. It amplifies your brand. When you look at the website, what content are you putting on there? Is that content cohesive? Do you have a way of getting that message out? Is your customer, when they come to it, do they come to a white paper? Do they have to log in and then get registered? How are you presenting that content? Do you have the tools to present that content? That's the story that Kentico provides for you. And we're going to look at these components. We'll look at them on the site itself, and we'll also look at them right here in the slide deck. So I boiled it down to 5 things. And there are so many more in Kentico. As I said, Kentico has a great story. It's a big novel to read. But I've taken 5 items, and I've classified them into the baby effect, the Spice Girl effect. Everyone has one effect, your gossip effect, and the fatal attraction effect. Now, these will actually translate to real modules that you can use within Kentico so that you can tell your story, because that's what you want to do. A story is what engages a customer with you. And so when we look at a story, it usually starts with a narrative. And this is the Kentico narrative, looking at the administrative screen. And then when we're looking at this narrative and what sets this story, the first item that peeks out at you, if we're going to have 5 things that engage our customers, we have to have a setting. And so you have to have a setting that you're comfortable with, that you want to go to. right? If you don't want to go to it, your customer is not going to want to come to your portal. So we have a setting. We have the characters. Each one of these components here is a character in the story and has something to tell. And then the sequence. Nice thing about the Kentico administrative dashboard that I love is that you can move these items around and sequence them in the way you want. And now to the meat of what we're talking about is the exposition. And so we're going to start with the exposition. Again, since we only have 30 minutes going in, we're going to look at the gossip effect. And what do I mean by that? Why would I say gossip effect? You have a website. People come to it. They look at it. They get information from it. But if you're not engaging your customer, if you're not reaching out to them, if you're not providing the items that I'm going to show you that Kentico can provide for you, what we have is gossip. Well, you know, I think Protiviti does this. I think Apple does this. But it's when you actually reach out. There's nothing better than I love than when I get a newsletter from a site that I registered on and I forgot about. And now that isn't the gossip effect, but that's I forgot about you effect. I didn't even put that in here. Well, the great thing that Kentico has is it has the ability to do newsletters. And this is out of the box. So when you have it, install it, you have applications. And you can see here what we're going to go to is email marketing. And I like to call it newsletter, not email marketing, because email marketing gets a bad rub because, you know, everyone hates getting all these newsletters into our inboxes and cluttering it, and usually we filter it out. But at the same time, there are some newsletters you want to get, some sites that you forgot about that are like, oh, you know what, I really wish I was using that. And that could be your site, and that's where the power of the newsletter comes in. So by clicking on email marketing, you have the ability to set up an email newsletter and call it a new campaign. And now the thing to look at in this regard is you can see here quickly that you have your existing newsletters and you can create new ones. And so as you can see, when you're looking at this part of the story or how you want to tell your story, it's extremely engaging. Now when we actually go to create an item, we look at our templates. And you can create your own templates, or you can clone an existing template so you don't have to start from scratch. And you can see here, looking at the templates, this is what I decided to do for this, since it is 30 minutes, is to show you a plain vanilla install out of the box what you get, so that you can see, oh, you know what, Kentico, this product is pretty good. I could probably start using it right away, and that's what's engaging about it. And if you're engaged, you're going to engage your customer. So when you take a look at this, you can see here you can create new templates. We have the ellipse, and I'm going to show you the site in a moment. And you can see the type it is. Here's your email. Here's a Protiviti newsletter email. Here's a corporate email. You have the double opt-in. You have the confirmation template. You even have the unsubscribe, so that you're controlling how your story is presented to the customer, and that's what you want to do with it. So when we actually start a new email campaign, which again is a newsletter, you're looking at the different parameters that you can set up. And you can see here I can set up the display name. I can have different pages. So based on the type of newsletter, I'm not confined to just one newsletter and type of confirmations that come up or the unsubscribing. Some may be to your membership. Some may be to anonymous. And so you can actually segment your population and your audience through that. You can set the sender's name, and you can set the email address. And you can do dynamic newsletters, which we won't go into for this, but then get down to newsletter template. So when you're actually doing this, and again, I like showing screenshots, but I'll go to the site live in a moment. You can see here that, again, we had the two types, and I clicked on my ECM Weekly, and I can put my own logo in. I can control my content. I can spell check. That's key. We can do drafts. I can preview it. I can send attachments. And then A/B testing, which I won't go into today. And then going down further through that, when we actually look at the send, we can schedule how this goes out. We could send it now to all subscribers. So, think of newsletters, and usually you think, oh, well, how is that getting to me? And these are the different ways that you can actually go through to create this email and send it out. The workflow is built in so that you're not actually having to go out and create new workflow. But the absolute greatest thing that I love about Kentico is the ability to control this so that if you do have developers, if you do like writing code, you can actually modify this even further. It's extremely extensible. Now, another item that I love about it, so we send out these newsletters, and we want people to opt in, and we don't want to set up a different store for it. All contained within Kentico is your store for the newsletters. So you can see who your subscribers are. You can see that, okay, this person's approved. You can see who's coming in who hasn't been approved. You can see who unsubscribes. You're controlling that. You're not using a third-party product, of which there are many on the web to actually do this type of structure and content, right? We could use MailChimp, for example. I know that's one of the more popular ones. But here, you're controlling it. It's all in your house. It's all with your story, and you're sending it out, and you don't have different systems that you have to log into. And different items of note, you can look across the top, and you can see you can have contact groups, you can have roles, you can add subscribers so that if you know folks who are potentially want to get your newsletter, you can just subscribe them. So again, I love this because as a dev, and I am a developer by heart and trade, I'll spin you up something in SQL, we'll save everyone there, and then no, you have that all right here for you. So before I go into the next item, what I'd like to do is actually go to Kentico again. And so this is your story, right? But what we're talking about today is 5 things that you can do with online marketing. So you can see here, if I come to email marketing, it has everything that I was talking about. But the thing I wanted to show you is the ability to clip on the ellipses. You can quickly control what you want to do with this backup restore. You can go in and edit it, and I'll pick the other one as an example. And you can see here, this is an email for new consulting services. And you can see quite quickly that, okay, this one has a different logo. So if your business is larger, or you want to even appear larger, you can see that with Kentico, you have the capability out of the box. I don't have to do anything. I don't need a developer. I don't need the IT department. I have the ability to control it right here. I can come in. I can import subscribers. I can export subscribers. It's a fantastic story for you. Again, and I'm going into the person. I'm looking at, I can see what they're subscribed to, which is, you can see here for the corporate newsletter, we're waiting for approval. But for the ECM weekly, they're approved. So good story on that. So that's newsletters. The second item I want to talk about today is everyone has one. And what I'm talking about is opinions. So this is the everyone has one effect. We want to engage our customers. In order to get our visitors to interact with our site, we can do what I'm going to show you next. But why is this important? We can actually take opinions and turn that into pertinent data, data that's applicable to what we're doing, our message, our marketing, the product we sell. So you do want your folks to interact, your visitors to interact with your site. It gets them to stay on your site longer. You talk about the social interaction. So what do we do in this regard? What does Kentico offer? Kentico offers a plethora of stuff. But in this regard, we're going to talk about surveys. And you can see this falls under content management. And what I call surveys is really a poll. With a poll, what you're going to start to see now is you're going to start to see familiar items that I just brought up in newsletter. You're going to see that We have the ellipses where we have the clone, destroy. We have those actions. We have the edit. We have the garbage can, and we can get rid of it. But you can see here with the polls that I can have multiple polls. I can have the votes. I can see. I can tell when that poll is open to and from. Very powerful. The polls are fantastic. When I create a new poll, I can put the display name, and you can see here I'm putting in ECM platforms. What ECM platforms are you considering? You can put that on your front page. The title, and then again, the open from, you can choose multiple choice, and then we can go to answers. You set up the answers. Very simple. Again, and I'm showing you just the top of the iceberg. You can see here with the answers, I can set up what the answers are, what I want them to look like. I can put in a couple of items here, and then I can set up how, on the security of this, do I want for all users authenticated. In this case, I'm talking about a public site, and so I don't want to just have authenticated users. I want all users. I want anonymous, which is fun. So before I get into the Spice Girl effect, well, again, like to go back to Kentico, which is here. And again, when you look at this story, just clicking on the flower, we can look at content management, and here are the polls. And again, to my point of a consistent interface, which is presented quite clearly, I can come in, I can look at this. So let's look at one that actually has a bunch of answers, a bunch of people who answered it. You can see the count per answer. So you can see what folks have answered, type, whether it's enabled or not, so I can disable an answer. And of course, the security on this was for public. So you can see that. And then you can see what the actual poll looks like. So very nice, very simple. Again, very engaging. Keep someone on your site, information that you have. All right, let's move on to the Spice Girl effect. Number 3, the Spice Girl effect. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Right? This is visitors come to your site, and somehow you want to pull information out of them. You really want your users to interact with you, to give you information. Well, and I know this is, Peter, everyone has a contact form, but let's not put down what the contact form gives you and the ability to do it, and do it out of the box. Again, I use that term out of the box, meaning you're the user, you sit here, you look at this story, and we'll look at it right now. So with the contact form, you have the ability to fully customize this form. You can change, create the types, the columns, the information that you're collecting, what your message is. You have the ability to do email notifications, which is fantastic, right? Because if you think about content management systems and what they are and what they have been in the past, is you think, oh, you know what, if someone sends me contact form, I don't want to have to keep trolling it and looking for that. I want it to let me know that, hey, something happened. I want a notification. Well, here it is. Click on email notifications so that the user gets notified. What about an autoresponder? How about a thank you? Yes, maybe you're requesting information so that we have some type of response with a template that says we'll respond to you within 7 days. And then we get into the items that I was just talking about, your fields, the layout, talk about security. So get extremely deep, won't go this, but the last time I want to mention is versions. And the idea of versioning, when you're looking at all of the information that I'm showing you in Kentico, is prevalent across. So that if you're creating multiple polls, if you're iterating your polls, if you're iterating your contact forms, you can save the versions of that. And I'm going to talk about recorded data here right now. That's why I skipped over that one. The recorded data, again, it comes, what I love about Kentico is the ability to have that information in my system. Again, it goes to the story, right? So if we take a look at the story of Kentico, if I go home, the story is, here's my information. And when we look at this and we look at surveys on here, which are, again, are the polls, you have the ability to interact with it here on site, right? So we have several different areas. I didn't go through the interface of the content management, which the polls are under, the online marketing. I chose 5 items, and again, this is number 3. So very compelling. Excuse me, I was talking about forms again, and what I meant, talking about polls, and what I meant were the forms and the ability to do the forms. So I got a little caught up in my where I was and talking about this. So really was talking about the forms. Again, the ability to have all that information right here. Look at that information. So you can even see your message. You could have a area where they put their message and what they're looking for. Again, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. The next item is what I like to call the baby effect. And it's, I want to clarify something, campaigns versus email marketing. Right, we talked about email marketing, which actually had the word campaign in it. But what is a campaign? Think of a campaign as something that's well-planned, it's thought out, and we're going to define it and make it measurable. Where the email marketing, I mean, that's measurable also, right? I can see who's subscribed, but it's really the newsletter. So a campaign is actually quite a different beast. So it's, again, under online marketing, just like email marketing was. Campaigns are under this right here, nice alphabetical order. And you can see here, you can put a name, you can put when is this campaign taking place, from what to what. And you can say, you can enable it when you're ready. And you can look at the goals of your campaign. You can set, red flag, it's a green goal, number of visitors. So you can, this is similar to business intelligence and setting up scoring and scorecards and brand banding. So you can set that up, but it becomes measurable, right? The number of conversions, you can define it as an absolute or a percentage. That's campaigns. Again, I'm not going to go deep. I only have a little bit of time, and I want to cover 2 more items. Next item I want to cover is the fatal attraction effect. I'm not going to be ignored. This is how our users feel. Right? And so this is really the 5th and final item that you can use in Kentico to engage your customer. And it's chat. And there's a whole chat module found under the social community. And with chat, think of it, we have chat rooms, we have the ability to create chat rooms, we have the ability to define users and have presence information, and then have canned responses. Now, I'm actually going to show this to you, so I want to just go through the slides, and then I want to show you the Webparts. So you have the chat rooms that you set up, but then you have chat Webparts that you can put anywhere on your site and engage. And that chat is really engaging. You could have it on your page. I know it gets a little bit annoying when you're looking at some of the sites and they pop up and they say, hey, can I help you, right? That's annoying. Or you can have it a lot more passive where they're engaging, or maybe they're engaging with other users. So let's take a quick look at chat. It's absolutely a fantastic item that's in here. Again, it's under social and community. When you look at chat, we could set up a new chat room. You have the idea of the ellipse again. But I could set up password users for the chat room. So you now have a nice community. And that's just one area of chat. If we go to so I'm on the site, and again, I'm using it out of the box so that you can see when you install Kentico, and by the way, you can install it for free, look at it for 30 days, and then contact Protiviti to help you with it. We can walk you through a lot of the other parts. But I'm going to click on the all-in-one chat. The reason why I like it is it's right now I'm in as admin, which is an alias of the boss. And so when I enter that chat, it says I'm not present in any rooms, but you can see here's all the online users. We have the idea of presence. I can join one of those chat rooms, and you can see as soon as I enter it, now there's one person in it, and I could begin communicating in this chat room. Again, really, really nice. These web parts are there that you can then just plop on the page, so you can see logged in, you can see who's logged in, you can change your nickname. You can do search so that if I had many users, if I had a community, right, we're talking about engaging your users in your community. So if we have multiple users, you can see I can do a search, I can pull that user up. So I'm going to bring this to an end. It's 2:01, and I just again went through the 5 different ways that you can go through and engage your customer visitor.
Okay, great, Peter. If you have any questions, please insert them in the question window. I will get to one that we have right now. How is Kentico on mobile devices? How responsive is it? And for emails, for the site, and for the forms that you showed?
Yeah, so Kentico is built to be responsive. You can target your different platforms, tablet, when I say platforms, your different devices. So a tablet versus an iPad. And, you know, there's a rather large answer to that small question. I'll say yes. How about that? And then you have both Julie and I's contact information. We'd be glad to talk to you about it more, but you absolutely have that capability within it.
Okay, great. We did have a question about the recording. The recording of this webinar will be posted on our website, sharepoint.protiviti.com, as well as our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in rewatching this or sharing this with a colleague, please do so. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Thank you, Peter, for the great presentation. We really appreciate it. We will see you all back in 2 weeks, where we will be talking about project management. Thank you all for attending today. Have a great day.